Hello and welcome to This and That. I'm Dave Lees.
And I'm Jonathan Byer. Hello and happy holidays, Dave.
Happy holidays, Jonathan. Or as Victor Petrenko would say, New Year is almost coming. Anyway, this is the skating lesson. We're going to discuss everything going on in the skating world over the last week. So if you're new here, please subscribe below and smash that like button. Jonathan, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas on Instagram. You are starting your holiday ornaments, and can you explain what is your take on what Victor Petrenko is doing? He's turning his picture into...
I have to say something, Dave. I am jealous that I didn't think of that first. He's turning himself into a Christmas ornament every day. Is that what's happening here?
I think so. You know, it's hard to ask Victor. He's a man of few words. Mm-hmm. So like, there's a little bit of an adorable...
And they're not so silly, like people with that kind of... he doesn't strike me as a silly person.
Well, he is. Well, remember, Victor in real life is like kind of serious and quiet, soft-spoken, but does have a good sense of humor. And then remember, all of his professional programs were like out there. He skated.
The jersey and all that, the boombox. Yeah.
So it's in there somewhere. You know, he wants to like twist again like we did last summer. Like,
or did someone tell him to do that? So then he just followed instructions. I don't know.
He feels like an actor.
Oh, okay.
You know, he's in the Novka show.
As an actor.
And I was talking about this with my masseuse, who, you know, is like the, I work with her.
So fancy.
On my ankle injury, you know, and then she helps me with my shoulders. And so she was talking about how, you know, Tatiana Novka is the only one allowed to have a show in Russia. And then she laughed and goes, corruption.
Then she makes it cute. Corruption, but make it cute. Okay.
I mean, we all want Victor to stay very healthy. So that's our one concern. If he can skate in a show, good for him. Spread the Victor cheer to everyone. Okay, just keep him safe and back to New Jersey. Okay, this is what.
And just let him keep posting these like sort of Christmas posts. They're amazing, right? Because like the ones I saw, it was like his picture inserted into like a Christmas ornament hanging on a tree. Is this correct?
Yes, I believe. And where is he doing this and how is he doing this?
If this is an app, please sell it to me. I would totally buy it.
Where did he get the joke that like he needed to be an ornament? Because he doesn't usually have that Plushenko narcissism, but he has some sort of sense of humor that's going on here. So it's a mystery. So
it's very cheeky. Now, to be fair, every year when I do my ornament punny countdown on social media, it is not photos of myself. I am not turning myself into ornaments.
No, but
I'm just highlighting
this aesthetic. Where did you get all the fat ornaments from? It's like usually like obese elephant.
Yeah, there's like a couple of like brands that I gravitate towards. And one is this woman called Patience Brewster. And she makes like these like manatees and tutus and like, you know, plus size ballerinas and like these like fun, whimsical ones. And then like there's a woodland section and then there's like a more arty section. Yeah, it's fun. But Dave, I thought you'd never ask. I do have the Bergdorf skater.
Oh.
Isn't she fabulous? It's a very like Tenley Albright kind of throwback idea.
Yeah, but it looks like you have a hint of diversity on your Christmas tree, perhaps?
Oh, in this particular ornament?
Yes.
I cannot say anything. I think she was just known as the skater, so. And she's fabulous because a lot of times when you get skating ones, they're just like plastic or they are just like a glittery boot. So I thought a lady in like beautiful fur, just like skating along was a nice.
Is she supposed to be like half Asian? Like just like a hint of exoticism? Like how someone in fashion, you don't know where they're from. You know, they're a mystery.
Yeah, vaguely ethnic.
You know, she reminds me of like the half daughter of Vera Wang. I don't know, it could be a half daughter. The daughter of like Vera Wang and a white man or something.
And Evan Lysacek, remember from that marriage?
It's horrible. How dare you stereotype these ornaments? That is racist and that is terrible.
Yeah, we took a turn. I thought that was a safe bet, that ornament.
Well, I mean, you don't have this one on your Christmas tree. You have many expensive ornaments, but do you have the December 1991 snowman sweatshirt ornament.
It is pretty wintry. That is very wintry, Dave.
We did
I
have
like that. That's a classy way to do a homemade ornament.
made those sweatshirts somewhere. We did have to wear them on the same days.
Impressive.
That was a planned attire. I liked that, actually. I was a fan of the snowman sweatshirt. I enjoyed it.
It's
It
good,
got
like
its use out.
wintry blue. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Excellent. Excellent.
I had long hair then. My dad used to cut it in the garage with clippers, and it hurt.
Not a Flowbee. Okay.
We used to spend a lot of time in the morning cutting my hair, and my mom would we used that Consort hairspray that came in the pump bottle, and it smelled like I had
okay.
I think it's why I keep it short. It's awful. Okay.
Yeah, amazing. It's why it's so short now. Amazing. Okay.
And then there's a little story to this one. To my mommy, love David, from December of 1989. So
yeah, totally your handwriting. Yeah.
At St. Paul's Nursery School.
Are you wearing a sombrero?
I'm wearing some sort of a hat and beads, which Debbie wasn't happy with at the time because why are you wearing beads in a right?
You know why.
Exactly. I used to like to play with my friend Allie, who's my best friend in the class, probably playing with the girls.
Okay. Yeah.
Just saying that there were signs back in the Christmas
red
order.
Already because you love red.
Yes.
Bright sweater, Dave.
I think all the signs were there in 1989.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hat was, but I think I was feeling festive, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You were singing Feliz Navidad or something.
Yeah. All right.
Now, are you ready for this transition? Do you have more homemade ornaments to share?
No, I don't. No.
Okay, because then now we can segue seamlessly into Cup of Russia in its final stage.
Yes. The finale. No, the final.
Yeah,
This was supposed to be a very exciting week. We were supposed to be seeing lots of our favorite skaters. Alyona Kosternaya, Elizaveta Dudmusheva, against Kamila Valieva. And, we have the return of Eteri Dudberidze, and we were supposed to be having many ice dancers, Stepanova Vuk, and other pair skaters. And
so what happened? Where did they all go, Dave?
It seems that, though we cannot confirm it 100, because Russians are big into the confirmation. God forbid you say that someone who has pneumonia had COVID, even though pneumonia is so common this season in Moscow.
Right, exactly.
Or it could be an offshoot. Everyone had coronavirus at the same time. Now, this is interesting because there are a couple events that have been taking place. There was the Rostelecom Cup, where all of these people just were within the window of when you would come down with COVID. And then Alyona Leonova had a birthday party where pictures were posted, and you could see Stobova and Nikolai Morozov there together. I think Tiffany was in the pictures. I mean, it looked like an event I would obviously want to be invited to as a fly on the wall. But
not during a pandemic.
Not during a pandemic. Yes, it looked festive. It looked fun. I think there was maybe vodka. I cannot confirm or deny. I just think perhaps, right?
Well, maybe they were trying to disinfect the virus.
Yes.
As they acquired it. Yeah.
We didn't get to see Aliev is sick. Jonathan Kolyuda is ill, but I don't think they confirmed that he had corona. There are some people that only have bad colds / pneumonia, but maybe they don't have.
Or private bad colds, like Evgenia.
Right. Who's now playing her ukulele or her guitar in her apartment. Like, she's having all the feelings, but we haven't seen her on the ice rink. And it's very interesting to me, okay, no one would care if anyone had COVID and would, all right, well, that's not exactly true. I think if people got COVID in natural circumstances, people would be sympathetic and empathetic to them, right? But we just had a COVID scare at the rink. Did I talk about this last week or not? I don't know if we did or not. If I talked about this.
I think you did. You did start to mention it. That one week was basically
I got tested, and I found out days later. And I felt fine, but I felt run down from work being busy and skating and, really pushing and different aspects of my life. I was really just like tired last weekend. I felt like I was at the end of like a push, right? And I have to say, like, the person who got COVID was definitely someone who was not social distancing over the summer, who was maybe posting pictures, partying and whatnot. And the fact that it was that, then that person had COVID, that was the one that maybe exposed people. Though I know that they didn't mean to do it, it did make me feel a little bit side-eye. And I actually wasn't angry until I was like waiting in the car to get the test when they jab the thing up your nose and you see the people go in like the suits and it's freaky. And then I thought, okay, like, girl, you know, like, you need to calm it down. So
right.
I think the Russians have, you know, there were skaters maybe in Montreal who got it going out over the summer and they're young and we get it. And like, that's why I've been with my parents for as long, as because I know that if I am in my own apartment, like, I'll feel pressure to see friends or go out more or something. And then I can't see my nephews or see my parents and keep them safe. I mean, they're both seniors. So it's kind of like one of those things. So it's kind of like, is what it is, you know?
Right. Right.
So anyway, but the Russians have flaunted. I mean, even this weekend, they'll have the masks on for the performance. They take it off in the Kiss and Cry. Why can't we have it on in the Kiss and Cry? That's obviously like a big moment when you take pictures. And isn't that the time that you want to be seen?
And you're all the closest. Yeah.
I mean, someone's husband potentially passed away from this disease or virus, you know, whatever. And it's just like a very concerning. I think it's the flaunting of the rules and the saying that it's just a hoax and things like that. And then now it's obviously clearly not. And as we've moved along, I don't know. It's, I think that's the side eye. But what's clear to me is that Terry's a very smart person who is very aware of how she's being perceived, even though in terms of being tough and brutal, like, that doesn't really seem to bother her. Like, she doesn't care. But being seen as ill or weak, that ticked her off, because the director of Sambo 70 said that she had the coronavirus, which other people said as well, which she could have had a mild case and now be recovered. So she was sure to post a video on Instagram the other day telling Renat Leisha that they are fine. And to please not, you know, basically saying to take her name out of his mouth, even though he defends her all the other time in the press. It was just a very strange moment. Right. And it was like, but we heard that you had COVID like 2.5 weeks ago and we haven't seen you for months. So I don't know what this proves, but obviously all of the fans who defend her at all costs will be like, how dare you? She is fine. She had a cold. She's at the rink. Like,
and what would it matter if it was COVID? Do you know what I mean? I don't understand why that's considered a moment of weakness.
Well, I think because it's, one, it's a sign of weakness, and two, none of you were wearing masks for how long? But Terry was one of the better ones with masks, I have to say. She was not being Plushenko, and it seems like he had it. I think they said Rozanov had it. Kosternaya has it. Veronika Zhilina had it. Like, listen, Russian skaters are having herd immunity. Okay, they are just okay.
It's all very strange.
I do think COVID, in terms of the quarantine, and then now them all being sick at the same time, it's evening the playing field a little bit. They had like an advantage. They had a factory system of prepubescent girls that they worked hard enough and delayed puberty for whatever methods that they did to time. And you can just see the timing looks a little off. Valyeva looks like a year ahead of schedule, maybe 2 years ahead of schedule. When I look at her, I'm like, I don't know if that's going to last to the Olympics or beyond. I don't know.
Right.
Well,
yeah, it's throwing off everyone's trajectory.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
None of those Russian girls, you can't pick a clear favorite. Who would you say is their clear? I think Valyeva is the one they're betting on for the Olympics, but who do you think? Like,
I don't know, because you know the one who really surprised me earlier in the season was Sofia. And I'm not going to remember how to say her name without it being spelled out in front of me.
Okatieva. Oh,
It was a surprise for me.
okay.
And she was the one I was kind of most taken with, but also Daria has sort of solidified as she's sorts of like, she's become more of a factor than I thought she might have been otherwise. And
Yeah.
gosh, I just don't know what's going to turn it up.
Yeah.
Because I was in that echoey place last week. Is this any better?
That's better.
Okay.
Maybe a tad more. Just a tad more. Let us
More. Goodness. Project. Sing out, Louise. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So I think Sophia, and I think it's Akatieva.
Okay.
She interests me. Daria interests me. I have to tell you, the more I see Valieva, she interests me less. Like before, it was one of those cases where I feel like she could do the things. She was just, again, being given the wrong material. And then like this Bolero is a real misfire for me. And again, she's getting through the jumps. Her quad toes are so high. Mm-hmm. The height she's getting on those is so impressive. And actually, what did you think about the triple axel? I thought the triple axel attempt in the short was pretty decent.
I think she can do it, and I think she will get it consistent. I think she is the best shot to win Russian nationals this year from what we've seen. I just think that her programs, okay, the girl on the ball program was so special. You like it, you don't, you think it's too many kicks. When we first saw it, it created such a moment, right? And I think she was the perfect size and had the perfect skating, and she was like sort of at the peak of her career. Her programs have become less and less special to me over time, but that's not her. That's the programs being given, and the costumes just seem busy. And I have to tell you that I used to have such a clear vision of who she was, right? And when they would write about her beautiful skating, I was like, yeah, I agree. To me, she looks like Zagitova with like more fabric thrown over her, but quad jumps.
Yeah.
But she's becoming interchangeable to me to lots of things that we've seen before.
Gosh, Dave, I find that really astute, because it just all seems so much more generic than how we were introduced to her. Because that was so specific. Yeah, exactly.
I was like, wait, she looks like every Atari girl who's hanging on after puberty, even though she's adding jumps. But then she's missing triple lutzes, and then the second one was iffy. She just doesn't seem to have, none of the Atari skaters have the consistency that we saw from them last season.
Right.
For whatever reason. I think you have to look at growing, time off, injuries, COVID, like just everything. They're getting it back.
Yeah.
It's gone forever. But it might not be this crop of girls. And I think that's what makes it interesting. And I think on one hand, it's bad for them, but they're not out of it. But they don't have the stranglehold on 1, 2, and 3. But I do think that the sport was maybe going down a bad hole where Russia had too much power and that it would lose global interest.
And with one rink specifically, it's not even just about one country, because I know there were complaints before about North America having top 3, but again, it was more that they were almost all marina teams, because then it wasn't about everyone was from one country, it was everyone had the same aesthetic. So
when there were too many Americans, we just attacked the Fluts, and look,
just get them out. Yeah. It was getting too cornered. It was.
But I think that's anything, me had a bunch of guys at one point, but what do they say? Life is round. Wait, what did the guy say? In the gymnastics documentary, the coach was, this girl gets injured and she has to withdraw from the Olympics. And obviously an unimaginable, devastating moment for anyone. And the coach goes, life is a bitch and round. No one has only good times.
And you're like, thank you for those words of support.
And also true. Like
fair enough. Yeah.
Fair enough.
But it's fair to want the good times when you're at the Olympics.
Right.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, like, if this is a Terry's down, she's doing okay.
Right. If ever there was a time to be down, this is it.
Yeah, I'm sure she's not happy. But
right.
Yeah. I mean, look, they're getting more skaters. They have more skaters like in 10, 11 years old, like don't worry. But whatever happened to like Daniil Samsonov? We were supposed to see him last year, and then he's just disappeared, and there's so much. What is happening? But
I miss his skating.
I was actually feeling for Tuktamisheva. And hear me out why this impacts me more. The older you get, the harder it is to get in great shape. The harder it is to add these jumps. The harder it is to do everything. And she's not that old by any stretch of the imagination. But compared to a 15-year-old, yes, it is more difficult, right? So she was just getting the quad toe again, just getting the triple axel. Just won a competition. Yes, she had some help, but she skated through an open door when other people did not. And it seemed like she was building momentum. This is like just, and we knew the last time that she
Right.
2 years ago, it knocked her out. I feel for her in that sense. Like I think she's a fighter. I think she'll come back. I think she'll be fine. But it's like, oh, what a,
Yeah, what an unfortunate thing. Because really, it's interesting when we go back because she was still, wasn't she at the Grand Prix final? I think she was the bronze medalist that year. And then withdrew, but because of how deep it was, that one withdrawal, that one illness just ruined the rest of the season. And then as a result, she was behind with momentum for the next one. It like changed everything for her. I think that one nationals withdrawal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If she skated at those nationals, she would have made that world team. Medvedev never would have had a chance to like backdoor her way in if she put up a strong performance with triple axels.
Right.
So,
yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, it was just like that little window that they could like finagle things.
Right.
But
it's interesting. I'll say, so you still see Valieva as the front runner.
We haven't seen Anna Sherbakova, obviously, since you're on, but Kostromaya was probably not going to get the triple axel back by nationals, was trying to, but it didn't look that way. And now to be knocked out by coronavirus, I'm like, for this season, I think, goodbye, right? I think it's going to be so hard for her to get back in that period of time. Plus, I don't know if we're going to have any of those events. I think that's the other thing we have to, like, do you think that we will have a World Championships or European Championships? Okay, do you think we will have a World Championships in March?
Well, that's, okay, so we read that article about the Canadian Federation potentially not sending people. And so Sweden was currently talking about being in the bubble and doing this sort of thing. I think it's still, honestly, I think it's too early to tell, but I don't know how they do it, allotting for that quarantine time unless people can be training through it.
I just think mentally, you have to plan the season, right? And you have to plan these months. Ultimately, March, if you look at like when people can get the vaccine, right? It's probably too soon. March is probably too soon to have everyone there. The other aspect of this is that they're trying to make skating more inclusive. They're trying to make the Olympics more inclusive, right? However, some countries are going to have more access to that vaccine than other countries. And is it something where if you're vaccinated, you can go to the Olympics, and then if you're not vaccinated, you cannot? Because that's a possibility. And how are you going to get it to every other country in the world on time and make sure that everyone can get it? I think for World Championships in March, that's challenging. I think if you're to say, okay, countries have to qualify spots via points during the Challenger Series and the Grand Prix, great. That just builds interest into the fall. It builds interest into the senior Bs, into that. And good, like, you know, maybe there's a points tally to do it rather than just one event.
But that is an epic season then. If you're already like vying for your country's spots in the first half of the season and have the Olympics in the second half, is that what you're saying?
Well, okay, so let's say that there's like a points, like if they do it by points totals on the Grand Prix is how countries can earn Grand Prix, earn Olympic spots based on like results at senior Bs, and this is an imperfect thing, and but I think no matter what is imperfect, right? let's say that they come up with some formula, right, of how you can, at least the countries that consistently put out results would then get a spot at the Olympics rather than someone finishes in the top 10 by the skin of their teeth just one time. Yes, it's exciting, but are they going to finish that many times? Like, you know, how many times are Mariah and Brady going to be 6 and 7 versus 7 and 8, right?
Right.
Maybe the US doesn't deserve that 6 and 7 Hail Mary. Maybe having a more broader perspective where they're usually 7 and 8, you'd be like, okay, the US gets 2 spots.
Right.
I mean, we could allot the spots right now if you want to get, Russia gets 3.
Well, that's the thing, yeah.
Canada should get 1 for ladies.
Right.
Like, we could vote on this. US should have 2. Japan should have 3.
And then everyone else just only needs 1.
Pretty much. I mean, some could have 2, you know. Okay, let's do men. US should have 3 men.
Russia should have 3, sorry.
I'm sorry?
I think Russia should have 3.
Russia should have 3 men. Japan should have 3 men. China should have 2 men. Canada should have
2
men. France should have 1 to 2. Yeah, we did it. I think I'm like skipping people, obviously, but like,
it's mainly the who needs 3 and who needs 2, and I think it's mainly who really needs 3. And like,
then you can just come on. Then you can just allot the other assignments at Nebelhorn like usual. I mean,
right.
Russia needs 3 pairs.
Right. Period. End of discussion. China needs 3 pairs.
China needs 3 pairs. Canada needs 2.
Mm-hmm.
US needs
1.
Maybe 2. Maybe 1.
Of course, it would be nice. Yeah, it's a, you know, but.
Oh my God, everyone should get a certain number of sets that they can trade and decide amongst themselves how many you want to give to each sport, right?
Well, even if they gave a country just a certain number of entries.
Ice dance, I would say US 3, Russia 3, Canada 2 or 3. Piper and Paul.
Well, we know Piper and Paul, the Canadians.
So are they going to add up to 13 or less? Probably
right around it. I would say 2. I would say they're 2.
Okay. Canada gets 2 dance spots.
Yeah,
you know,
for real. Yeah.
You can kind of look at the 2019 world results and make a little bit of calculations based on what has happened.
Right.
And average it for the last years.
And again, most of this doesn't affect the top 10.
Let's be honest. They want the top. Yes, they want the Olympics there for everyone, but they want it there for the ratings. And for the ratings, you need the top countries. So
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the stars are.
I don't know.
Let's talk about the Russian.
Should we name the Olympic team now? For the US, who's going to the Olympics for the men?
I think Nathan, Vincent, Jason.
Yes.
For the ladies, if we're going to, I think Mariah and Brady. I don't think Alyssa's going to make it back.
I'm going Mariah and Amber.
Whoa, bold.
But give Amber the money to train with someone else.
Okay. Interesting.
Alexa and Brandon, or Jessica and Brian. But I think Alexa and Brandon.
I think Alexa and Brandon.
And the dance, the 3 Montreal teams.
Right. Because it seems clear. At one point, I wondered if Jean-Luc and Caitlin might be in danger, but they seem safely in that 3rd spot.
Oh, Russia.
This is the thing. Okay, so there's so much to be determined for Russia with the ladies in particular. So we've discussed, we think maybe Valieva. I think maybe Usachova.
Valieva, Usachova, and the 3rd spot is between Trusova, Kosternaya, and Tuktamisheva, as of now.
And I'm gonna just somehow just be like weird and just now make Sophia a thing that I'm rooting for.
All right.
Why not? Men, Kolyada,
Aliev.
Alia, and go with me on this one. What are you thinking now, especially after this weekend, about Peter?
I'm thinking that my son, Artur Danilian.
By then?
Yes, and he,
Okay.
you know, he's had an ankle injury. I had an ankle injury. I believe in him, Jonathan. I believe that he is the one.
Okay.
Although those Buyanova skaters, like Igor with an E, you can tell, first of all, they dress in that like sort of generic mad scientist suit looking aesthetic. Like, are we a little fan of the opera-y? It's always like that.
With the cape, and it's kind of lacy and
yes, yeah. It's like almost like a skirt at the bottom of the jacket, mm-hmm. always, right?
Mm-hmm.
You kind of know the vibe that's coming when you see that costume. You're like, okay, there's gonna be some arm choreography. He completely loses his posture in the second half of the program, which to me says that they do more sections than full run-throughs.
Because to me, Peter's short program that we saw previously mm-hmm. at Rostelicon was like almost one of my moments, because it's short enough that he's able to maintain this like grand gesture through, and it's Moonlight Sonata, and it really like enhances that style, and so it's really good. Unfortunately, after the quad lots, the technical content wasn't working for him here, but it was still really beautiful because it's a shorter period of time for him to maintain it.
Yeah. Yeah. But the men here were not thrilling to me. Without Kolyada, without Aliev.
I do think there's something about Peter and maybe what he can do in the future. But
and I think that Samsonov just does Josh Groban better than the rendition of Josh Groban that we saw here. You Raised Me Up. It was
like the Celtic version. It sounded like we were on the Titanic a couple times.
You know, the reason why you skate to Josh Groban is that it's really the key points are really obvious. When you do a spiral, when you do a spread eagle. This choreographer did none of that. We were in a footwork sequence doing like back outside loops during like some of the crescendos. And I thought, this is not.
This is trying to soften him up in general. And I mean, maybe
he had some he had like the first quad set was a miss. The second one was nice, but
and at times very easy on the ice, and at other times more labored and stiff.
You know, I don't think that music raised him up to be more than he could be. It didn't.
What if it did? What if it did? But again, for me, it's Peter's short program was
your moment.
Yeah, it was again. He didn't deliver it in the content here, but just choreographically and the way he's able to do it, that was the program.
And what about Mishina Galyamov in the pairs?
Okay, so I'm trying to think about this team. There's something I like. First of all, what is there an official name for that like skid when he like leans back and throws his hands behind him like Jason does? Is there an official term for that?
Johnny, it's the Johnny Weir like lunge movement.
Yeah, but to do that and then have to get up into a triple toe seconds later, I think it's like, I love the concept of it, but I was like, of course you turned out a little bit, dude. Like
he could have done it.
So difficult. Yeah. Okay.
He's done it before.
I know, but I was like, that is a big.
That's okay though. You ever read that book about the second mark where they talk about how Moskvina like she plans out have her skaters peak at the perfect moment with her exact science. Her skaters almost always historically have had little errors and then deliver the best performance at the big moment. So him turning out, I was like, oh, that's good. That's the little thing that they need
on track. Okay. Yeah. And again,
his posture and his overall deportment, like she is on track. She is a star in that area. He needs to just like bring the shoulders down like I do. And he needs to just like work on the overall extension.
You know what's interesting though, Dave? I feel like he kind of does that in the beginning. Like the first opening seconds and choreographic movements, he will give you that and then it drops a little bit. So I think he's capable of it. I think he just needs to be like harped on a little.
It gets a little sloppy, but okay, they made a mistake. At the last competition, they lost because they didn't hit the triple sow, Euler triple sow. Oh my
Gorgeous,
God. Still enough. So clean here.
Yeah.
Amazing. And I was starting to think as I was watching the program, okay, What about them and the Chinese pairs in a year? How do you start to compare them? Okay, they don't have the magic of Sui and Han right now.
Right.
But what if Sui and Han's time
comes to a close?
Like a year ago, right? Like we haven't seen them a considerable amount of time. Are they going to have to try a quad? Because I can't really picture Sui and Han doing a triple Euler triple.
Right.
For them to do 2 side-by-side triples is more challenging for them over time. Granted, everything else is beautiful and perfect, but when the Russians make that push and Moscovina makes a push and she gets in that window of like, we're coming for you, then that means that Sui and Han can't make any mistakes. And that's a lot of pressure to skate when you are a competitor.
So are you seeing them eventually emerge over Boykova?
I think both Boykova and Misha Galyamov are right there. And I think Misha Galyamov are pushing Boykova in their,
I think Galyamov, like they might have that 1% more special thing just naturally.
Yes.
And so if they get it, and they're more in process, it seems. So I feel like if they really start to get it, they will surpass.
And Boykova is more consistent, right? So I think they're pushing each other in the practice, which must be very happy about. This is what she wants. This is like 1998, 1992 for her.
Right.
So boom, like this is what she wants. And the Chinese have it. They're in the same rink. She's in the same rink. I think it makes it a very exciting competition between those 4 pairs to see who's going to really emerge.
Totally.
It's bad news for the Canadians, but these are very, very strong teams to put together. Then you have Tarasa Morozov in the mix, which you just never know.
But I think they'll be that third team, and they may still be the third ranked team, even though they have the skills, the raw materials to be easily number 1.
I know. I just have this like fear that at the last moment, one day they're going to do the Hail Mary, and they're going to be the team. Could you imagine if like at the end, Tarasa Morozov like somehow have a Paul Wiley moment, and because they're Russian, they win gold and not silver? Like, could you imagine?
I think it would be actually so satisfying to be like, there it is. There is that one moment.
Head scratching, satisfying. They'd give all the interviews in terms of time, right?
Right. Pulled out all the stops and it finally worked.
Maybe we'd get some good documentaries about like how much they hated each other and what Marina did.
Honestly, Dave, I don't anticipate that happening.
I don't either.
I think it would be a great story, but I don't see it coming our way.
Yeah, I was really looking at it. But I was like, triple Euler triple with another year in Moscovina. Can she help the choreography enough? Can she do this? Then I just think the pressure is on for Lori Nickel to create a masterpiece program, and Sui and Han have to skate perfectly clean.
Yeah.
They just
and Lori seems inspired by them to do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's possible. The only way I think they would lose is if they make a mistake, but I think it's very possible that, look, they lost last time because they made a little mistake. And we have seen how many repeat Olympic silver medalists. Like, it's very rare to go from silver to gold, but we've seen silver to silver, silver to bronze. Like,
although Aliona went bronze, gold. So,
always exceptions to any rule. It's just very hard. I think when you are a second place person, I think it's very hard to wait 4 years in a sport like figure skating and like adjust your brain.
Right.
To not having that fear of being second. I was watching because there's that new figure skating Olympic channel where, and you actually, if you go on the website, they put some of the replays right on there. I don't know if they're all on YouTube yet because it was like through a YouTube player, but last night I was watching the Calgary men's event because Igor Lukanen didn't know what year Victor won the Olympics because he was shading me. Not like shade. So there's like a thing with like some moves on the ice where if I do something and it's in like a specific way, or I don't know the name of something, Galina will be like, did Lukanen teach you that? How come Lukanen didn't teach you cross roll like this? And like, So she has me do this move that's like a two-footed cross roll sort of situation. It's a little bit different than your traditional cross roll. I don't really know what to call it. Igor's like, it's a two-footed forward power pull. I don't. Dave, you look ready for 1988. He goes for the Olympics, right? Tell Galina she's stuck in the 80s. No, don't tell her I said this, right? But she'll be like, how could, what did Lukanen teach you this move in his practice?
Amazing.
You know. So then I was like, no. I was like, Brian Boitana won, you in America, big American skater, because that's how Galina would say. So, you know, all the Russians love Brian Boitano. Like they are just
well, at least one does, we know.
That's for Brian Boitano.
Okay.
Galina, when she talks about skating, Dave, you want figure skating, not figure jumping. Brian Boitana, Nancy Kerrigan, Jill Trenery, Karen Katevi, Christy Yamaguchi. This woman, Katerina Witt, figure skating, not figure jumping, figure skating. I'm like, on and on. So yes.
So funny.
That, yes. Anyway, go the 88 men, which we judged.
I was going to say, I remember. It was an enjoyable experience.
Watch the official feed is quite enjoyable.
So when you watch the official feed, is someone commentating?
No.
Okay.
It was just, yeah.
Okay.
See, like young Katya losing her mind when like Victor is getting the bronze, because that was an upset over Fadeev. They were friends with both of them at the time, but it's an interesting little moment there. And you see like Katya is sitting by herself, remember, because if you read the book, Sergei like was off partying, abandoned her at the Olympics. Very upset about it. He made it up to her later. And then, right? But Galina was wearing like a man's suit in the Kiss and Cry. She said it was the official.
I didn't remember that.
She said it was the official. She has a red vest and a red tie with like this like gray suit jacket and pants. And I sent a picture to her being like, okay, because
yeah. But they were told what to wear.
I think so. I think that's the excuse. I don't know.
Okay.
It's like strange.
Wait, while we're talking about Kiss and Cry from Eastern European sentiments, so when we've been doing the Russian Cups and a lot of the events that Russia has been doing, it seems like there is a consistent sponsor and it's advertised on the rink side. And then at the Kiss and Cry, there's what seems to be, I could be totally wrong on this, like foil wrapped burritos on a table or something. I'm just not quite sure. All of these Russian events seem to have been sponsored by the same company. Might be some sort of food that's wrapped in a burrito-sized foil container. I don't know. If anyone knows.
Food next to the skaters when they don't let them consume any of that.
That's what I'm saying. I hope maybe it's like little blankets or something, but I don't think so. I think it's definitely food.
Oh my God, it's like the Cantu sisters. They described, living with Galina. She was making fresh gnocchi. Of course, they didn't eat any of it, but
Yeah, how horrible to be smelling it and around it. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah. Now, did you see Diana Davis has a new free dance? Did you see this, Jonathan?
I did watch that you sent it to me. What does Tessa think about this particular new free dance? First of all, who posted it? Did she post it?
Terry posted it first.
Okay.
And then it was everywhere. I don't know. I saw it on Terry's feed first. It pops up as the most important for me by the algorithm. Maybe Diana posted it first. I don't know.
Okay.
She's not as important as a Terry to me. A Terry is at the top of my Instagram. Okay. As she should be. Okay.
Exactly.
Tessa was flattered. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. She thinks that maybe she could help. And she's glad that her...
But does she want to help?
Well, she's glad that her old coach, Igor Spielband, was so inspired by her skating and her good performances.
That she decided to share Roxanne with the world again.
Yes. Maybe Diana Davis wanted a Tessa Barbie as well.
Amazing.
We wish her good fortune with the music. And that's really all there is to say.
Yeah, that really is.
I thought, yeah. Maybe some of the accents weren't being done well. I don't know. Like,
perhaps this was. I feel like they were struggling in a 3-4 struggle of their own domestically, wouldn't you say? And I don't know that this particular program safely puts them on the side they want to be on of that 3-4 split.
I don't know. It was not the best program I've ever seen from an ice dance team.
Yeah. That's why I was surprised who posted it. It struck me as like something someone might have like filmed while they were still working and didn't want that out there, but I guess they did.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So Jonathan, tell us other things. I thought we could do a little odds and ends. I have a couple discussion points that I want.
Yes, tell me.
What's going on with this concert that you're having? Tell us about
I should have remembered more information about it. So normally I do a holiday tour in December, and that's not happening. So Lachlan, the Australian pianist from the Met, who you know, and I, and then my friend Amanda, who you also met last year at my holiday soiree, we did like a virtual one. And then it's going to be like a YouTube premiere on Wednesday, December 16th, I think it is, at 8 p.m. And there's an Eventbrite location. So we just sing like, it's very short. It's like, 40 minutes all in. And there's like fireside banter and stories. And then we sing a little opera, a little musical theater, a lot of holiday content. It's kind of fun.
Okay. I found the opera people a little stiff at your party last year.
Well, were there opera people?
Yes, because I wanted some Christmas carols and we, it was a little...
That's the thing, it feels like work, so everyone would rather do something funny and off the cuff instead of something serious and feel like they're trying to impress. Does that make sense?
Yes, so I think that you need obviously a rendition of All I Want for Christmas Is You, but like an operatic version.
There's one that came out this year, Dave. So there's a very famous tenor called Jonas Kaufman, Jonas. I sang with him at the Met. He's an amazing talent. He's a really nice guy. And he's really successful and wealthy and amazing, but someone really misguided him on this Christmas album. And he is a native German speaker. And he sings All I Want for Christmas Is You in an operatic technique. And it's
not good.
It's really unfortunate. And it's really that kind of like makes you cringe harder than anything moment. And
okay, then I think that you should take the corny yet lovable song from The Grinch, Where Are You Christmas? You just need to do it.
I don't know that one.
Oh, it's like a Faith Hill 2002 moment.
Oh, I'll look it up. Okay.
The lyrics are insipid and terrible.
Okay. Like cheesy.
But that's what made Where Are You Christmas? Why can't I find you? Why have you gone away? I mean,
it's like the where have all the flowers gone of Christmas.
Basically, yes. Okay, and it would be a great song.
Okay.
And then I really can't stay. Oh, baby, it's cold outside.
That is a tough sell. I used to do that on every holiday.
It's very hard. My voice teacher wanted me to do it when I was in a senior in high school, and the syncopation of When the Man Comes In is very challenging. Little.
As you're saying, as she's asking you what you put in her drink. I mean, I don't know if it's an appropriate high school song.
It might be.
But it can be fun if you flip the parts. This is just the way certain audiences view gender roles, because then when the Me Too movement came out and a lot of concert presenters were wary of the piece, we just flipped the parts. And when she was begging me to stay, there was something inherently funnier about it.
I didn't know this song was a Me Too situation.
Oh, she's like, I'm trying to leave. And he's like, you've got to stay.
But is it a playful I'm trying to leave? I thought she was being coquettish.
That's the argument.
I didn't know we were doing a Christmas rape song for years. Okay.
That's what it sounds like. And I used to even introduce it as like a Christmas Law and Order SVU carol. Like it's
no,
she says, what did you put in my drink?
I always taught her being like, oh, no, I have to go.
So it's a no that means yes, Dave? Is that what you're saying?
Listen.
Gets complicated. It gets complicated. Now, it's not what it was intended originally. In the original piece, it was about something else entirely.
She doesn't want to make herself too available for him, Jonathan. She's not inviting him in. She's not like lowering a strap or something. She's just being like, oh, you know.
She's trying to get out of his house and he's not letting her go.
She's saying how busy she is. She's just, no.
I'm not saying I agree or disagree with the argument, but it's one I tend to stay away from now.
I first saw this song in a children's film where it was like an early take. Has anyone seen this? It's like a mix of Home Alone and The Parent Trap. Okay. And it's like this brother and sister. And it was this like terrible movie. Of course, I loved it for some godforsaken reason. I was like very cheesy as a kid and loved all family movies. The families and Christmas are happy together, right? And it's like a brother and sister. Their parents are split up. And of course, they try to get them back together during the Christmas season. And I love it because it's like WASP New York. Like, of course, the girl is one of those like precocious young child actresses, and she's taken to go see the Nutcracker. And, you know, it has all the waspy sensibilities of like Christmas in the city of like you know, what Priscilla Gilman would probably be doing.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
You know, they go to private school, like the whole deal. Has anyone seen this movie? And at the one point, like, who is the grandma? The grandmother is someone, and they're singing "Baby It's Cold Outside" in the beginning, and like she's at the piano. They're having a Christmas soiree, like in your apartment, but it's like a grande dame who's like,
okay,
baby.
Okay.
Of course, like she's got this like baritone voice, being like, "Well, baby, it's
amazing." Now, one of my favorite Christmas movies, Dave, is Yogi's First Christmas, because Yogi is normally hibernating during Christmas, and they like go to a lodge.
Called like I had the VHS of Yogi Bear's Christmas. They cut down the Christmas tree outside with Babu at some point. Right?
Yeah, and there's a big skating competition where they all compete. It's kind of cute. It's cute.
Obviously, I like any Flintstones Christmas. I mean, I like when Cindy and Hot Mr. Brady go to see Santa so that Carol can get her voice back for Christmas, and then she sings at the end, and of course it's a cringe because I find Florence Henderson awkward. I don't know. She's just
she is a little. There's like something edgy and funny about her, but there's something inherently stiff about her delivery sometimes too.
Something about her. She finds herself very sexy. I think she plays the scenes a little too hard.
Even, did you say you're a 30 Rock fan? She does like a funny, like, and it's a very innuendo-y moment on 30 Rock. Yeah.
I'm looking up this Christmas movie that like is Lauren Bacall in it. What?
I should know that then.
I mean, it would be the top of her filmography if she is. Lauren Bacall on stage. Wait, I think it might. Is it her? It might not be her. Yes, it is. It is her. 1991. The film is called All I Want for Christmas. Okay.
It's you.
Ethan Randall, Kevin Nealon, and Thora Birch is the daughter. That is who is in it. Thora Birch from Now and Then. Hocus Pocus. You know, there were so many bad children's movies when we were kids in the 90s, Jonathan. There were ones about dogs. There was one about a girl and birds. There was one about everything.
Yeah,
every
we
animal.
We suffered through a lot.
Kids today don't know what like good old fashioned cheese is, but this All I Want for Christmas, obviously. Lauren Bacall singing.
Was it, yeah. Don't you feel like Carol Heiss or something has like a whole bunch of Christmas specials somewhere?
Yes. Okay.
Like her with the dwarves or whatever, but
like I'm getting ready for our holiday, you know, Facebook post and the skating lesson, you know, because I take great pride in the videos that I share to the public. And I hit my goal. I wanted to hit 70,000 on Facebook by the end of the year and got it done a month early. And I'm like, okay. And I said, Sandra, did you do any Sandra Bezic Christmas specials? And she hasn't. I was like, I thought
seems surprising, doesn't it?
I thought she was a big time choreographer and director. Like
gold medals, whatever. We need a Christmas special and we need it now.
Come on. Like,
did they ever release that Nutcracker with Nicole Bobeck and Todd Eldridge, the one that cost them their national title?
There is, but you know, there's also one with Victor, Oksana, and like Victor's brother in it.
Oh, that's the one I would want.
I mean, also interesting. There is, you can watch that one on YouTube with Nicole Bobeck and Todd Eldridge.
Okay.
I mean, controversial, you know, that was so.
An edgy choice. I go with cash in the hand too. I would have.
I'm getting a few Christmas specials. I remember that there was one, like, this is when you knew that skating had really jumped the shark and was on its way out.
Snowden on ice.
Well, that. But there was a Pasha Grishuk Beverly Hills on Ice Christmas thing where they like, set up a little ice rink in the middle of Rodeo Drive. And it was like Lou Chen when she was no longer on Stars on Ice doing Santa Baby with a single axle. And it was like Pasha giving us Christmas cheer. And I'm ordering it from that guy Dan with the tapes because I'm like, we need to watch this. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't care if no one appreciates it but us. Like we need to
worth it.
Okay. So I also have a question because I got a new cell phone for people and I ordered it from Apple because I didn't want to go to the Verizon store, but they didn't like send me anything to send it back to my old phone to Verizon in for the trade back. Does anyone know what to do? I feel like this is the audience that will know what to do.
It's like, dear Abby, dear TSL viewers.
What is the appropriate gift for a skating coach when you only take a couple lessons a week?
You're talking about for you specifically with Galina, or are you talking about the
in general?
The coach-student relationship in general.
I know. Like, what do people get opera coaches, like voice coaches? What are people getting?
You know, it's interesting, especially now that I've started teaching certain, and I think I'm going to proceed with caution here, but certain cultures seem to gift more at this time than others. I have also noticed that certain singers of various regions will always give a gift around Christmas time, and others I think are more of the mindset like, I pay you for your time, so we're good. You know what I mean?
The more insufferable the mother is, they need to give a bigger gift.
I agree. I absolutely agree. And maybe it needs to be like booze or something. You know what I mean? There's.
Do you know? Wait. Are you aware of like American wealthy skating gift giving culture? Like how outrageous it is?
Oh, is it like bribery based? Like in some
yes.
ways? Yeah.
Like $5,000 in cash, like Prada wallets. Someone bought their coach a pole harness. They're giving, designer bags. Like, what do you get?
And how much have they maybe spent on that coach already?
Ton.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly.
It's an important time of year because parents are insufferable in December around the holidays. First of all, ice time is lessening. There's maybe potential for a day or two off. Nationals is coming up. It is high stress with the coronavirus. Imagine how many times these mothers are emailing and calling these coaches about things.
Desperate for the attention. Yeah.
They're in a panic mode. I think the gifts this year have to be better than ever for some of these mothers. You know who you are. Okay.
Or I think usually they don't. That's the problem.
Oh no, I think they do.
Okay.
You do know. Like, I would like a list of people of I asked.
It's funny, like, because as an adult, like I would just do like, here's a bottle of wine, or here's a really nice bottle of champagne, or
okay. This is.
I feel like if it's like a gift certificate, it's actually kind of more cringy because there's.
People get like lots of gift cards, in a more normal ranks, right?
Yeah, but then you definitely are assigning it a number that's like that's why I think like sometimes a bottle of something is more discreet though.
I'm not doing booze because I don't drink. So I am I think for Galina, she's all about having the fanciest, nicest, whatever, right? And her entire Christmas tree is skating ornaments, like Tarasa, right? But I looked at her ornaments. Of course, I zoomed them. Okay, when I saw it. I don't think it'd be nice. Kind of my area.
I find for holiday ornaments, like or for a holiday gift, giving an ornament is actually like, for someone that appreciates that and has a thing, like you could go now seek out one of like the finest skating ornaments. It's like fabulous and give it to her. I think that would be, and then you know what it ensures? That every year when she takes that thing out and puts it on her tree in a prominent place, because it's one of the best ones, she will always think of you.
Oh, yes. See, people are saying that, with others, I'm looking at someone gave a Nespresso machine, like the nicest one that you can get.
Nice.
designer coaching jackets, a Rimowa suitcase set.
A set?
Oh, yes. Listen, Brian Orser has been given a $3,000 bottle of wine, Moncler coat, one coach, a Louis Vuitton clutch bag, Gucci shoes, a Louis Vuitton belt. These parents are bribing people. But you know what? These parents are a lot to handle. So I think
it seems like the coaches have earned this. Yeah.
But transitioning to a video that I have coming out in the next couple of days, do you know what they get Maggie Haney and Vicky Levine? Maggie Haney, the gymnastics coach.
Oh, yes. What they shouldn't have given her was a voice in the New York Times, in my opinion, but okay.
Do you know what they gave her? The parents would get together and chip in for a gift card to Victoria's Secret. It is a different world, is it not, Jonathan? You needed to know that. And you know why? Do you want to know how I know this?
No. Do I want to?
Because I've spoken to more than a dozen former Maggie families, parents, gymnasts, who have been a veteran of the Maggie Haney MG Elite program. And, you know, a lot of people have a lot of feelings and have sent emails and text messages and firsthand accounts of training in that program. And I've been compiling it together, and probably tomorrow night-ish we'll be releasing something that we're going to refer to as the Maggie Diaries. And because we have a lot of people that have a lot of feelings, and I tried to really get at why people don't leave, what role do the parents have, and like each parent has a story and they get invested. And so I've talked to former elites, lower levels, and they just keep coming. They just keep coming. You know, I talked to Maggie's PR lady, who was very proud of their press release. And they put together that video that someone referred to it as a Scientology recruiting video. Yes, so
it's psychotic. The gaslighting going on in the New York Times article was horrifying.
Well, their take is she's not Larry Nassar, so why are you suspending her?
Yeah, because only one kind of abuse counts. Like, it's really, you know, this stuff is tough for me.
But it's, you know, that article was a gift, because I was already talking to a lot of people. But, you know, when you're talking to families and trying to get an article together and trying to get people to talk, everyone is so afraid that it's very challenging to get everyone on the record or get everyone to open up in the same way.
Right.
The second she did that video and that, oh my God, the floodgates open. Like, this would have been done sooner if she had not come out that way.
Right. It was a really bad move.
I mean, the emails that people have sent me from Maggie, I mean, they speak for themselves.
Right.
So it's just like mind blowing.
Ooh, these sports. And when she was like, what I didn't realize, Dave, is she's not that much older than I am. You just hope that it's like something about generations. And I was like, wait, you're kind of the same. Isn't she like 40?
The assistant is younger than us. The assistant is 28.
I mean, it's horrifying. It's horrifying. As you think that like younger generations are evolving, and she's like, I don't know, I guess you can't do what you used to be able to do. And I was like, yeah, correct. It's correct. There's a lot of things we can't do that we used to be able to do, Maggie. It doesn't mean we ever should have been allowed to do them in the first place. Like, geez.
That video was horrifying. You know what it is? It's her eyes. A lot of parents have discussed that she has very cold, sharp eyes that can like pierce through. As
your soul and your self-esteem. Yeah.
So it's
yikes. Well, I look forward to that video because I would assume it would be explosive.
I mean, I would say that it's been at least 40 hours of work put into it already. So we're just.
Which for you, that's not.
No,
I don't know where you come up with these hours, Dave.
It's been a lot, Jonathan.
Yeah, I bet.
A long time.
I bet. Yeah.
It honestly, they needed a reality show. all the parents, the personalities, the Jersey attitude. It's fantastic. So anyway, yes, hopefully we will have more skating in the coming week, and that I just feel like our field was like sliced in half this week.
Well, because it was. Yeah. Because what comes next then? Nothing until...
Well, we have Russian nationals, we have Japanese nationals, we have...
And that'll start Christmas Eve, right? That's more...
Right, but then we also have the US just filmed their qualification videos for nationals.
And they should be releasing those when then? Do they release those, or how does that work?
Probably like in a week to 2 weeks, because they have to have a tech panel go through all of them and then have judges evaluate them. And it depends how many people actually submit who signed in.
And then after they're judged, do they release them with the score?
They should be releasing them.
Interesting. Okay. Okay.
Do you think that we're going to have US nationals? I mean, I guess, because they're talking to have synchro will be virtual. Like synchro, they're probably going to be filming and then releasing it that way. But they did, synchro's not supposed to be...
How is synchro doing during this? Are they wearing masks as they're training together, or are they...
Limited numbers, masks.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, technically, some places you can't have more than 10 people on the ice at a time. So I don't know how you'd have synchro. That's...
Right. Exactly. I mean, and is this qualification kind of video process, could this...
I saw a group practicing, and it looked like it was half of a synchro team practicing, where they were like 8 girls on the team were practicing with one coach.
Because is 16 the normal number, or is there not a normal number? Okay.
Yeah, 16 is the normal number. So I don't know what they would do.
Yeah. Do you think that this sort of like submitting of videos is in this qualification process, could this be a dry run for something they do end up doing for nationals?
Could be. I think if it gets bad enough, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I think it depends what's happening in Nevada, like what kind of pressure they have from clubs. Because I think if clubs run into problems in terms of traveling or in terms of quarantine, because that's another thing. If all of your top say you have a top club where you have a lot of people going to nationals, what if they come back and they have to quarantine for an extended period of time? That's a lot of lost revenue to the rink.
Right.
So
I say do them like you've been doing the other video competitions.
How are they going to do that on NBC though? That's going to look so janky. It's just going to...
Yeah, because the rinks are going to inherently look less nice.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, because they're not going to send NBC crews to like 5 locations in the US or something. Yeah.
Unless they do.
Yeah. Unless that's the only option.
It could be like Tara and Johnny on Zoom. And now, virtualing in, we're going to go talk to these people. Like,
share a screen, and it's just like, oh, it's up to them.
They may have to be creative.
Yeah.
Who knows? I don't know. It's like it's coming in under the wire. The worst part about this is that, so nationals, they moved it to be before Inauguration Day, of course, right? But now you have it like around a 2-week window for what if there's an explosion of people traveling after Christmas, and what if the numbers get really, really bad? That would be like the hot spot of...
Right.
I don't know. We're going to have to see. Right in the comments.
Or is it like almost like the Olympics where you go early and just like start training there?
I think you have to.
Yeah. Maybe you got to spend Christmas in Vegas somewhere, and they got to find like some rinks.
I can think of no place less safe.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's Vegas.
Or somewhere like, within driving distance. I mean,
don't they like specialize in
in super spreaders?
I don't know.
Yeah.
An interesting place for skating, but yeah, we'll see.
But you're right. When we did see Skate America there, it just felt a little bit more real.
Yeah.
Yeah, that it was in one consistent arena.
But... I mean, I don't know. Who knows what to hope for? We want everyone to be safe and healthy and performing. So if you do it from your rink or who knows? But
yeah, but just do it.
Hold an edge. Thanks, everyone.